Hello. Hi. My name is Jo, and I'm the founding editor-in-chief of Good Day Cork. Y'all know who I am at this stage. and for the newbies, hello. I live in Cork. And I'm going to read, which I've not done a lot here. And I'm going to read you something today. It's from the book called The Order of Time by Carlo Rovelli. Carlo Rovelli is an Italian physicist, and Carlo is incredible. The way he writes, the way he explains physics is just remarkable. And I'm going to read a tiny bit of it. The name of the chapter is The World is Made of Events, Not Things. Oh, gentlemen, the time of life is short, and if we live to tread on kings. Shakespeare, Henry IV, Part 1. When Robespierre freed France from monarchy, Europe's ancient regime feared that the end of civilization itself was nigh. When the young seek to liberate themselves from an old order of things, the old are afraid that all will founder. But Europe was able to survive perfectly well, even without the King of France. The world will go on turning, even without King Time. There is nevertheless an aspect of time that has survived the demolition inflicted on it by 19th and 20th century physics. Divested of the trappings with which Newtonian theory had draped it, and to which we had become so accustomed, it now shines out. With greater clarity, the world is nothing but change. None of the pieces that time has lost, singularity, direction, independence, the present, continuity, puts into question the fact that the world is a network of events. On the one hand, there was time with its many determinations. On the other, the simple fact that nothing is, that things happen instead. We're getting to the point. The absence of the quantity time in the fundamental equations does not imply a world that is frozen and immobile. On the contrary, it implies a world in which change is ubiquitous. Without being ordered by Father Time, without innumerable events being necessarily distributed in good order, or along the single Newtonian timeline, or according to Einstein's elegant geometry. The events of the world do not form an orderly queue like the English. They crowd around chaotically like Italians or like Indians, in my personal experience. They are events indeed, change happening. The happening is diffuse, scattered, disorderly, but it is happening. It is not stasis. Clocks that run at different speeds do not mark a single time, but the hands on each clock change in relation to the others. The fundamental equations do not include a time variable, but they do include variables that change in relation to each other. Time, as Aristotle suggested, is the measure of change. Different variables can be chosen to measure that change, and none of these has all the characteristics of time as we experience it. But this does not alter the fact that the world is in a ceaseless process of change. The entire evolution of science would suggest that the best grammar for thinking about the world is that of change, not of permanence. Not of being, but of becoming. That's the point. We can think of the world as made up of things, of substances, of entities, of something that is. Or we can think of it as made up of events, of happenings, of processes, of something that occurs, something that does not last and that undergoes continual transformation that is not permanent in time. The destruction of the notion of time in fundamental physics is the crumbling of the first of these two perspectives, not of the second. It is the realization of the ubiquity of impermanence, not of stasis, in a motionless time. I hope that brings you comfort, and I hope you understand why I've read that today, especially because it's Mental Health Day. Every day is Mental Health Day. Please look after yourselves every day and look after each other, okay? Yeah.